Oh, the emails concerning Trump. Trump always talking about some. Well, I didn't know him. I ain't know no Jeffrey Epstein. Bullshit. Neither. This is one between Epstein and Neil Castle. Neither of you requires introduction. I've known Jeffrey 28 years, and this isn't a joke. Donald Trump introduced us. So you've known the man 28 years, and Donald Trump introduced you 28 years ago. So that means Donald Trump known his nigga for 30 some years. I first met Neil 16 years ago when Bob Pyrie introduced us. Neil will be visiting NYC end of the month. I think you would both enjoy spending time together. Thank you for both. Thank you to you both for always supporting me. You are both copied. All this shit about Trump doesn't know him. You've known him for 30 years. This email concerning Trump. Dearest Jeffrey, happy, 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 happy. And on your birthday present. Oh, and your birthday present is President Donald Trump. Haha. Love and kisses. B for your BBB. And there was this email from Richard Kahn. Oh, I don't know why I won't load. Supposed to be an old article of CNBC. I don't think it's gonna load though. Yeah, it's not gonna load. It's not gonna load. It's an old article of CNBC in 2016 where Donald Trump will win the election and is more popular than Obama in 2008. It says AI system finds that he was supposedly more popular than Obama in '08. Bullshit. Definitely wasn't more popular. But again, this was also more proof in these emails that they heavily invested in Donald Trump becoming president to begin with. Now, this is another one from the FBI here. See here. Date of birth, and you got called FBI National Threat Operations Center. This is one that's similar to the Jay-Z and Harvey Weinstein one where someone called in with a tip about Donald Trump to report Donald Trump knew and funded underage sex parties at the Donald Trump golf course. Same golf course that he got, insurance. That he actually gets tax, not insurance. He gets tax benefits off of his golf course because it's an actual burial ground. Because he buried his ex-wife underneath the golf course, so he gets to actually collect taxes on the golf course where his wife is buried underneath. I can only imagine what else is buried underneath there. If we know that you're collecting taxes off your ex-wife being buried underneath your golf course, I think I'm bullshit. I know y'all have heard about that. Look, her grave is located in a private family plot near the first hole of the golf course. Ivana Trump, the first wife of Donald Trump, is buried at the Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey. He collects taxes on this shit. Was recently interviewed by an FBI. I was reading the notification, sorry. Was recently interviewed by an FBI agent. However, he felt triggered as a victim and he did not report all of the information. Had recordings of Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell discussing marketing strategies for high-profile sex parties at the Donald Trump golf course. However, mailed the recordings to a lawyer in the what did I say? Oh, in the Cayman Islands. I was part of the Sinaloa cartel and worked closely with Epstein and Maxwell. However, he was able to walk away from the cartel due to his status with Epstein and Maxwell. In the recordings, Trump stated he was aware of the underage sex parties and charged the house money of the golf course to fund the sex parties. Witnessed, let's see, witnessed Robin Leach strangle a young girl during a sex party. He claims she is buried behind the 19th hole at the Donald Trump golf course. Didn't I just say that? I'm like, if the ex-wife is buried at the first hole, I'm willing to bet there's more women that are buried in this golf course. So sick. It says blank is aware of 3 separate occasions in which girls were murdered and buried there. Was told if he spoke about the incident he witnessed, he would end up in the hole as well. Gave Maxwell the idea to put cameras in at the golf course to review the cartel members and understand how to market the 12 to 14-year-old victims to the cartel. This is sickening. This is sickening. Like I said, I had a feeling that, like, if there's his ex-wife being buried there, God knows how many other people could possibly be buried there. And this is literally an email talking about Trump has a few of these girls' bodies buried in that golf course. Just wow. This, like I said, this is our president. This is our fucking president, yo. Just wow. I'm in disbelief. Like I said, this isn't even the tip of the iceberg here, right? Because, say for example, if I was to do this, right? And like I said, we can't go over all of them. We can't go over all of them. It's just too many. It's just way too many. But just for example, when you put his name in, it's like, dog, you in here 1,446 times. What do you mean you didn't know him? I think this is one of the main ones that people are talking about here with the Malaga. Yeah, this is the one with the Malaga one. I probably gotta zoom this one in a little bit. Were you able to send me a full NTLC report? We did an interview regarding the blank allegations, child exploitation and human trafficking task force. Reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform oral sex on President Trump approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey. The friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13, 14 years old when this occurred, and the friend allegedly bit Donald Trump while performing oral sex. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting President Trump. The friend said she was also abused by Epstein. In response, was spoke with caller who identified as friend. Lead was sent to Washington office to conduct interview. And it shows the blank criminal history. This one, voicemails left no response and received when they tried to call them back. Reported she has a friend who was a personal assistant to Epstein in Florida from 1986 until 92. This friend shared names of some of the guests of Epstein parties, include Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. At age 16, another one. This is 3 different ones now. This is 3 different complaint summaries. At age 16, while modeling, caller attended 8 parties in Epstein's New York residence. On one occasion, caller reported she was sexually assaulted by Epstein. On another occasion, 2 twin brothers, Alan and Orrin, lured caller and her friend upstairs, but they escaped back downstairs. Caller stated Orrin raped her best friend, and the third brother, Tal, raped a 14-year-old girl named blank, and caller named other individuals involved in big orgy parties with her other younger girls and other Victoria's Secret models, including Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Online complaint reported she was a victim and witness to a sex trafficking ring. And get this, at the Trump golf course in Rancho Palos Verdes in California between 1995 and 96. Complainant reported Ghislaine Maxwell as the madam and broker for sex parties, clients of whom included Epstein, Robin Leach, and again, Donald Trump. Complainant reported participating in orgies and that some girls went missing, rumored to have been murdered and buried at the facility, the golf course. Complainant reported being threatened by Trump's then head of security that if she ever talked of what went on, she would end up as fertilizer for the back nine holes like the other cunts. This goes beyond it being allegations at this point when we're seeing multiple times that this golf course and people being buried there have come up. And this is the second one that someone has gotten threatened about saying anything about the golf course. Complainant claims to have video of high-profile sex parties, dealings with cartels, and having witnessed Robin Leach strangle a young girl to death at a party. Claims he was contacted by a female victim of Epstein's who wants to publish a book. Complainant provided background for himself, such as working with prominent figures such as Leslie Wexner and Epstein being pardoned by a U.S. president, among several other pieces of information. The victim reportedly knew about criminal activity that occurred in multiple states that on airplanes and told complainant there were films of prominent men such as Epstein, Bill Clinton, and Donald Trump, and that Ghislaine Maxwell is in the videos as well. Complainant reported meeting a Lisa Villeneuve. Let's say Lisa Villeneuve. Lisa Villeneuve at a hospital where they were roommates in 2000, who now goes by Ghislaine Lisa Villeneuve. Complainant was invited by Villeneuve to a party. This sounds like Ghislaine Maxwell, really. To a party on Palm Beach Island, Florida, to a residence she believes to have belonged to. Yep, this is Ghislaine Maxwell. A resident believed to belong to Epstein. There, she met a model scout named Bobby Cox, whom Villeneuve, might as well say Ghislaine Maxwell now, whom Ghislaine Maxwell allegedly referred to as a pimp. Complainant stated that Ghislaine spoke with a hostess at the residence, whom complainant believed to be Ghislaine Maxwell. While at this party, complainant stated they had all been invited by Donald Trump to a party at the Mar-a-Lago. Complainant told Villeneuve she wanted to go to that party and was allegedly told by Villeneuve that it was for prostitutes. When complainant was 14 years old, Ghislaine Maxwell allegedly approached her about modeling, international travel, and massages. Complainant never reached out to Maxwell because the offer sounded as if it was mostly based around modeling, which complainant was unable to do because of it says blank. Complainant made a podcast of her story about her encounter with Ghislaine Maxwell when she was approximately 14 to 15 years old. And it says complainant reported his ex-girlfriend were victims of Epstein's and one was murdered. While working as a limousine driver, complainant recalled picking up Donald Trump in 1995 to take him to Dallas-Fort Worth Airport during that ride. Complainant recalled some of the things Trump spoke about on his cell phone were very concerning and described being a few seconds from pulling the limousine over on the median and within a few seconds of pulling him out of the car and hurting him due to some of the things he was saying. Complainant noted Trump repeatedly stated the name Jeffrey while on the phone. One of the complainant's ex-girlfriend told complainant Trump raped her, as did Epstein. Then another one says caller is talking about crimes committed against her. She claims to be a prisoner. She references Lisa Marie Presley, the British royal family, President Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Complainant reported her neighbors sought modeling gigs at the Trump modeling agency in NYC between the years of 98 and 2000. Complainant reported neighbor allegedly went on cruises set up by a recruiter or head of the agency, and once showed complainant of a photo of the recruiter, whom complainant recalled looking like Epstein. Complainant reported neighbor was allegedly raped several times during this time period. Caller provided information to reference prior civil case from 13 years ago that involved Trump and mentioned Jeffrey Epstein with a minor. Then it says complainant following up after a call with NYPD officer regarding her previous tip, reporting that she was forced to perform sex acts when she was 13 and pregnant in 1984. A complainant also reported there were high-profile individuals involved in her sex trafficking and the murder and disposal of her newborn daughter. This sounds very Celeste Rivas right here. Complainant reported Donald Trump participated regularly in paying money to force her to perform sex acts with him, and alleged Trump was present when her uncle murdered her newborn child. And it says caller was taken by boat to Epstein's Island. Caller said it was a complicated and involved Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. It says caller became a school counselor and had a meeting with the school principal, Linda Kitts, and a police officer, where the caller was informed there were pictures of herself with Epstein. It says caller reported the school was mad at her for not being a Trump person and that the school wanted her to testify and say things against Andrew Cuomo. The FBI and Donald Trump were on the phone. During the meeting, caller believes the FBI has baby pictures of her with Epstein. Then it says caller reported that in 1987, a friend victim was out drinking and ended up at the Trump Plaza. It says victim one saw Donald Trump and wanted to meet him. An unknown man approached her and offered to introduce her to Trump. The unknown man gave victim one a drink, and victim one woke up naked and sore with $300 on the bed. Victim one didn't remember how she got to the room. She remembered seeing a flash of Trump's face. Victim one called the caller and told her she thought she had been raped. Victim one did not go to a hospital to have rape kit performed because she didn't think anyone would believe her, especially because she was drunk. Victim one's husband business had problems with suppliers, and victim one believed Trump was behind it. Victim one also started dating a lawyer, identified as unknown, who was married. Victim one had a fight with her lawyer boyfriend and went to a bar. Victim one left a bar with a man who no one in the bar recognized, but who seemed familiar with victim one. Victim one was never seen again. A few years ago, remains were discovered that matched the description of what victim one was wearing when she went missing. DNA tests at the time were inconclusive. And this says in 2004, 2005, Sir Ivan Wilsdig hosted a party where Jeffrey Epstein and Sammy Sosa, rest in peace, and Donald Trump were in attendance. Patti LaBelle's PR agent stood at the door. At the party, caller met an individual who was approximately 18 to 23 years old of age, who was brought from Oklahoma for a modeling job, but then sold to a man in France. Several women were being auctioned, and a woman possibly known as Colette LNU was the madam. A couple years later, callers saw Colette at the Cheetah Club in New York, and she told one of the Santos friends that Jamie Foxx was interested in spending a night with her and that he could pay her a lot of money. Donald Trump, Jamie, your ass in here too. Jamie, your ass in, shit, they done got Jamie Foxx. They done got Jamie up in here. Big game, what's going on? They done got Jamie Foxx up in here now. Shit. Donald Trump, the president, had parties at Mar-a-Lago called Calendar Girls. Jeffrey Epstein would bring the children in, and Trump would auction them off. He measured the children's vulva. Ugh. He measured the children's vulva and vaginas by entering a finger and rated the I was holding my glasses in my. Oh my god. Oh, that's so. Oh. He measured the children's JJs by entering a finger and rated the children on tightness. The guests were elder men and included Elon Musk, Donald, is that Trump Jr., and Ivanka Trump. Oh, so his Elon Musk, Trump Jr. and Ivanka Trump was there. And Eric Trump were there. Attorney Alan Dershowitz was also there, and attorney Bob Shapiro. We were taken in rooms, forced to give oral sex to Donald Trump, forced to allow them to penetrate us. I was 13 years old when Donald J. Trump raped me. Ghislaine Maxwell was also present. And you go down here further, there's a couple more of them. It says reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform oral sex on President Trump approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey. The friend told Alexis that she was, was it the same one? Yeah, it's the same one. Okay, this is a copy. This is pretty much a copy. This is a copy of the one we just read. Yeah, it's a copy of the one we just read. I see the golf course one. Yeah, this is a copy of what we just read. This one down here. Yeah, because I see even the 13-year-old claim it. Yeah, this is the second one is the copy. All right. Wow. All of these women that were underage saying that Trump raped them is astonishing. Absolute. And we're talking about just what, 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth result. The fourth result says this. When I even talk about the other emails that just talk about them putting together him winning the presidential election, because that was also invested in. But there's also emails in here that suggest that Epstein was killed by Donald Trump and that Donald Trump paid for his assassination. Those emails are also floating around. You know, you have a couple others that are around here. Oh, I didn't even know. Went the wrong way. Went the wrong way. Then there's this one of the underground tunnels. Place Wright actually hid behind the bush outside my home, and when she asked me, she came alone and said her uncle was waiting outside to walk us to her place. So when he walked out my yard, he jumped out of the bush at me and I got scared. He said something like, "I guess you don't like being scared," or that I didn't like surprises. I was just shocked to see that it was him. But anyway, as he walked in our way to her apartment, she made me walk slow with her as he walked up ahead. She kept whispering it Waska set up, and I didn't know what the hell a setup was. I didn't know, of course, they needed to do a deeper investigation into this, and if it is true that they were harvesting adrenochrome and organs there. Harvesting adrenochrome and organs, you say?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Interesting.